Hey guys, Tyrep here, and today we're taking a look at the 2021 Commander Update Preview. So to play this one, unlike all the others, this is not a mod. You actually have to come to the beta version to play it. So to do that, you come to Company of Heroes in your library, come down to Properties, go to the Betas tab, and then you opt into Community Test, and then you hit the update. Take a few minutes, whatever, and then you're ready to go. So as you might expect with a patch named the Commander Update Preview, that there are a lot of Commander changes, a lot of underutilized abilities or commanders are receiving changes or buffs. So I'll briefly cover them here at the start, but the actual demonstrations and stats will be later on in the video or maybe in the next video. Starting out, we have the British Advanced Emplacements. Counter Battery is getting replaced by Hold the Line, which is nice. Counter Battery was kind of just always a bad ability. On 1v1 maps, it could reach 3/4 of the map, or maybe even a bit more than that, really. Almost reaching the opponent's base. And then on 4v4 maps, it could, maybe not even reach halfway. So yeah, just a really bad ability. Didn't scale between the modes. Getting replaced with Hold the Line, which also received a few changes. Lend-Lease, the mortar section is getting replaced with Strafing Run. So this is kind of nice for Lend-Lease. Gives them another munition sink beyond just the vehicle crew repairs in that commander. And with the patch changes, last patch, the mortar pit making a bit more accessible, it felt like the mortar section wasn't really quite so necessary anymore. For OKW, we've got the Fortifications Commander. Field Defenses is replaced with For the Fatherland. For the Fatherland is the ability that's in the Overwatch Commander. Field Defenses is getting merged into the flak emplacement, so it's going to be all bundled into that one slot now. And for Special Operations, the Artillery Flares are getting replaced with the Sturm Officer. This is the one that's in Breakthrough, and the flares are getting moved on to the Command Panther. For us here, we have Festung Armor. Command Panzer IV is being replaced with the Panzer IV-J, pre-equipped with the skirts, the beefy boy. Festung Support, Stuka Smoke Bombs are being replaced with the Resupply Station. This is a new ability. And the LFH is getting replaced by the Command Panzer IV, which is also receiving some changes. German Mechanized, the Mechanized Grenadier Group is getting replaced with the 250 half-track. And this is nice because, previously it was kind of hard to get this out at the right timing. You get the Grenadier inside the half-track. It's pretty expensive, arrived maybe a tiny bit late. But now you'd be able to just build the 250 individually, which is better overall, I think. The LFH is getting replaced with Vehicle Crew Repair. Joint Operations, the Light Artillery Barrage is getting replaced with the Resupply Station. I'm personally a little bit sad about this because I played this commander maybe the other month. I was trying to build Pack 43s, and I felt like the Light Artillery Barrage was the best part of this commander, with another stationary unit, Pack 43, LFH, and now the Resupply Station. Kind of plays into a more campy style. I don't know, not a huge fan of that. Luftwaffe Supply Doctrine, this almost saw no play in the past and is receiving some pretty major changes. Supply Drop Zone is getting replaced with Air Supply Drop. Stuka Reconnaissance Run is getting replaced by a new unit, the Luftwaffe Field Officer. And the Stuka Dive Bomb is getting replaced with Heavy Bombing Run. Mobile Defense Doctrine, Osttroopen Reserves being replaced with Mobile Observation Post. That was the Osttroopen ability. Come in at a late command point timing. You get 2 Osttroopen squads for a relatively expensive cost, honestly. Getting replaced here. And finally, for Storm Doctrine, we have the Regal Anti-Tank Mine. That's the one that the half-track can plant. It's getting replaced with the Jaeger Command Squad. Moving on to Soviets, we have the Conscript Support Tactics. The Incendiary Barrage is getting replaced with a new ability, 152mm Howitzer Strike. Guard Rifle Combined Arms Tactics, the IL-2 Sturmovik Attack Loiter is getting replaced with the IL-2 Strafing Run, which is also receiving some big changes. Lend-Lease Tactics, the Allied Supply Drop, that's the one that always got shot down, is getting replaced with the ZIS-6 Supply Truck, a new unit. And the Dishka is getting replaced by the 50 cal. Partisan Tactics, the Tank Hunter Partisans are kind of getting merged into one slot with the Anti-Infantry Partisans, and that's getting replaced with the Anti-Tank Gun Camouflage. Soviet Reserve Army Tactics, the Tank Hunter Partisans are getting replaced by the Commissar, and the Infantry Repair Kits are getting replaced with a new ability, the Air Supply Drop. Soviet Anti-Infantry Tactics, Shock Troops are getting replaced with Assault Guards, and Assault Guards are getting some major changes. Soviet Industry Tactics, the Vehicle Crew Repairs are getting replaced with a Recon Overflight, and the Allied Supply Drop is getting replaced with the ZIS-6 Supply Truck. So this is kind of nice because there's quite a lot of overlap. You could build those repair stations and have crew repairs, and it's taking up 2 slots. kind of reducing a bit of overlap there in the industry commander. Soviet Shock Army Tactics, the ML-20 is getting replaced by the T-3485. The IL-2 Sturmvik is getting replaced with the new ability, the 152mm Howitzer Strike. And the Conscript Assault Package is getting replaced with the IL-2 Recon Run. Kind of makes sense, you know, Conscript Assault Package, bit of overlap with shock troops in that commander, so kind of reducing that down. There's also a nice Google document spreadsheet here with all the commander changes if you want to look these up, and I'll include a link to this in the video description below. Getting into the meat and potatoes of the changes here, starting out with US forces, we have the 240mm artillery barrage, this one an armor company, often called RNG bombs, but the RNG is being toned down a bit. The first shell will always land directly at the center of the target zone. This is really helpful for you as the US player because you know that first shell is going to drop on the point, so you can maybe target an anti-tank gun or something like that you really want to move instead of that first shell just scattering to wherever. And that also means that, you know, you can kind of safely be in the target zone for a couple of seconds. You don't have to worry about a shell, just first shell immediately scattering and knocking out one of your own units. So quite nice here. Cost is also getting reduced by 25 munitions. It does mention here that the shell damage is not enough to just like one hit a howitzer. So that one shell is not going to be enough to kill a howitzer. You're going to have to get a little bit extra damage, maybe another shell luckily landing on it as well. Here we're taking a look at the revised 240mm artillery barrage. We're going to be using it on a howitzer. What we're going to do is activate it on the howitzer, turn the fog wall back on. I want to see, you know, what are the odds of it actually just like taking 2 shells or actually going down. Because as it mentioned in the notes, 1 shell's not enough to kill.
Troop, fire mission, HE quick, barrage, fire for effect.
There it goes. Now it's a dead. Okay, so there's still quite a lot of scatter. I mean, look at how far apart those shells are landing. Okay, so yeah, there's still quite a lot of scatter. It looks like you have to get reasonably lucky for this to knock it out with no extra support. So you might need to come in here with like a tank, get an extra shot in or two. But there you go. And look at the revised 240mm artillery barrage. Cavalry rifleman, the cost of covering fire has been reduced to better reflect its performance of trading the squad's DPS to force a debuff on another unit. So the cost here is going down from 25 to 20 munitions. I saw no use previously. Combined Arms. While Combined Arms is a difficult ability to use, it's scaled incredibly well with late game armies thanks to bonuses that it provides. The bonuses have been reduced. Some items such as vehicle sight bonuses were removed to force infantry who do gain the sight bonus to scout ahead and make use of the vehicle range bonus. So the infantry accuracy bonus is going down, it's getting halved. The reload bonus is getting removed. The vehicle reload bonus is getting halved. The vehicle sight bonus is getting removed, and the cost is going down by a decent chunk. Personally, I'm a little bit sad about this change overall myself. You know, I think now that the Dozer 51 got nerfed, it didn't really feel like that big of a problem, but I don't know. Fired up, this is the sprint that riflemen get access to in Rifle Company. The command point requirements for that are going down from 2 to 1. Heavy cavalry smoke barrage, the cost of that is getting reduced from 50 to 40 to kind of match better against Stuka smoke drop and cover to cover. The INR Pathfinder barrage, the delay is going up from 5 to 6 seconds, and the warning flares now appear at the start of the ability rather than at the first shell's launch. So previously this ability was extremely hard to dodge with a team weapon. Like if you had to set up machine gun, somebody dropped this from camo, good luck. Unless you were like already directly controlling that machine gun, yeah, there's a very good chance you're going to lose it, especially like an MG42, you know, slow pack up time. So very welcome change here. This was like very, very cheesy, easy wipes, especially if you've got a lot of lag like I do. Yeah, this was extremely hard to dodge. So good change there for the INR Pathfinder barrage. Testing the revised Pathfinder artillery barrage here. So what I'm going to do is drop it on my machine gun. Maybe wait about a second after the smoke falls down and then try and dodge it. See how that goes. Damage here won't be representative since there's probably like a friendly fire modifier, but you know, we'll see how it goes.
Orders coming down the pipe. We're redeploying. Break it down.
Yeah, so you can, the smoke comes down just so much earlier now. Yeah, that's going to make it quite a lot easier to dodge if you're really paying attention. So yeah, that is going to make this much easier to dodge. Bear in mind that, you know, you don't need any command points for this. You just have to be in range here, and you've also got the fake smoke, which can cause a lot of disarray. Just the cost of 20 munitions. So, alright, that's way easier to dodge now. The M26 Pershing is being adjusted to be repaired faster due to its reliance on rear echelon squads to repair it. The Pershing is also receiving a slight speed buff once it's gained veterancy to maintain its role as a heavy tank that's very mobile. So the health is getting reduced from 960 to 800, but to counteract that, it's got a 15% damage reduction. That brings its effective health back up to 940 health, same number of shots to kill in basically every scenario you can imagine, but faster repair time. So instead of having to repair 960 health, you now only have to repair 800 health, so faster to repair. And Vet 2 plus 10% speed bonus. Command points are also going down from 12 to 11. A lot of heavy tanks are receiving similar changes. So I want to do a quick repair test here, maybe compare the differences in repair times. In this case, what I'm going to do is use the Panther at 0 health and see how long it takes to repair up 160 health on that, and that'll be kind of like the best case scenario of how much time it saved by the Pershing going down to 800 health with the damage reduction change. So ready, set, go. And there we go. Whoops, I missed my timer stop. It looked like about 26 seconds. So, you know, I mean, that's obviously best case scenario where the tank gets to absolutely 0 health, which can only really happen with the old snare bug, which I don't think got addressed in this patch, much to my dismay. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, you're going to save, you know, maybe about a few seconds every time your tank takes damage, and that's nice. The Bulldozer Sherman with the 105mm gun, the one in Armor Company, is receiving quite a few changes here. The frontal armor is going up from 200 to 215. The speed is going up slightly from 5.3 to 5.5. The acceleration is also going up from 1.6 to 1.8 and is now getting access to a 60 range barrage, fires 4 shells into the target area with moderate scatter of 35 munitions. So yeah, this was kind of pretty heavily underutilized, like very, very slow, bad armor, just completely like outshone by the Brumbear, just miles better than Brumbear. So quite a lot of changes here to bring it a little bit closer to the Brumbear in terms of performance. Here we are taking a look at the revised Bulldozer Sherman. Just want to have a look at its performance in terms of mobility. So yeah, I mean, it does feel a bit snappier, the acceleration change. I feel like I can notice that, honestly. That's nice. And what we're really hoping to see here is the 105mm howitzer barrage, 35 munitions. It says in the notes that it's 60 range, but as you can see here, that only goes out to 50 range. This will be 60 range out to here. Each one of these purple lines is 10 range, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So I'm not sure if that's a bug or if the notes are wrong. Gonna have to double check that. But let's get some squads down here and see what it does. So when using a barrage like this, you know, odds are you might be firing into the fog of war. You might have like scouted a unit into the fog, maybe with an infantry squad, maybe they got forced to retreat, and then you come in with the 105, start barraging it. You can notice this also does have a minimum range on the barrage of 20 range, so you can't come up and do like a crazy shotgun. Let's see how it goes. Pretty much a max range against this big old blob of Fox Grenadiers. Okay, so it seems to be scattering short. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you do notice the faster reload, but I believe the bunker busting barrage from the Brumbier, like the first shell, is close to pinpoint accurate. And that is not the case here. All the shells scattering quite a lot. So yeah, decent in terms of reload bonus, but still quite a lot of scatter. So here we're going to do a direct comparison between the 105's new barrage ability and the Brumbier's barrage ability. Once again, I'm going to fire this one pretty close to max range, basically exactly 50 range. See how it goes. But you can see that first shell, that's scattering about 10 range short. So that was 4 shells, I believe. Now the Brumbiers, remember this is the Vet 1 ability of the Brumbier, whereas this comes at Vet 0, so worth noting that. Munitions cost 30, 35, so a little bit cheaper though in terms of munis. And yeah, can come out to 60 range.
Crew, get on it.
And you see that first shell almost pinpoint accurate. But only 3 shells there. Maybe slightly less scatter, seems maybe more likely to overshoot, and this one maybe seems slightly more likely to undershoot. I've done a couple other tests here. But yeah, that's a look at the Bulldozer Sherman's new 105 Barrage. The Sherman Calliope, to make it easy to eliminate the Calliope when it's caught out of position, the unit is having its health and armor reduced. The minimum range has also been increased to make it harder to shotgun units with a rapid fire barrage at short range. It doesn't actually mention the change to the minimum range. The points here, a little bit strange. Armor is being reduced to 110 from 160, so it's pretty much like a guaranteed pen from any medium tank. Well, not the Flak Panzer, but you know, Panzer Force. And the health is being reduced from 400 to 320, so now it'll be 2 shots to kill from most tanks. Taking a look at the new minimum range here of the Calliope, and it looks like it's out to 45 range here. So it's 10, 20, 30, 45. And there it is. Comparing this to Katyusha, that goes out to 50 range. So still a little bit shorter than Katyusha, but yeah, overall a bit of a nerf. I think maybe it was like 15 range shorter than that previously. If I had to guess, maybe like 30 range. So yeah, that's the new minimum range on the Calliope, 45 range. The Sherman Easy 8 from Rifle Company is receiving a couple of changes that put it in the range of premium tanks, such as the Comet. The range is being increased from 40 to 45. This is a huge change. 5 more range on the Comet. That's just like really, really big. Speed is also getting improved from 6.1 to 6.3. That's going to make it very fast now. Rotation rate is getting slightly increased. Fuel cost is also going up by 10. And at the moment as well, like the far range from the gun hasn't been changed. The far range is still 40. So from 40 to 45, you've just got like flat penetration. It's yeah, so you're not getting nerfed at 40 range. It's just all gravy basically, this +5 range on the Easy 8 at the moment. So don't underestimate that. That 5 range is going to make it very, very good. Should bust up Panzer IVs really nicely now after this change. The M8 Greyhound canister shot is getting its cost reduced from 40 to 35 munitions. The Mortar half-track white phosphorus shells are going down in cost from 25 to 15 munitions. You know, these did receive some pretty big nerfs in the past. They're pretty bad at the moment, so yeah, cost reduction there. The Mortar half-track's phosphorus. The P47 Strafing Run, this is the one in tactical support, the anti-infantry one, has been adjusted to evenly distribute its damage in a line. Will no longer single out a particular target when attacking an area. Units outside of this line will not be attacked. So here we are looking at the revised P47 Strafing Run. 110 munis, and you know, compare that to the MA3 cluster bomb, same price, so there's a better stack up. Traditionally a bit of an underperforming ability. Got a nice carpet of Fox Grenadiers down close to the center of Crossroads, so we can time it as well. So we'll get a nice damage distribution, see how it does, and time as well. So 3, 2, 1.
Roger that.
So this is time from me activating it to units coming down rather than smoke. Okay, that's pretty decent. There's not super wide focus there. Oh boy, and I missed the timer. Well, you guys will see it in the replay. So that's not too bad in terms of damage distribution overall. Get on board with that. We'll chuck a tank in here, see how it does against that. Now against the Panzer IV.
Understood.
Not a huge amount of damage there. Maybe a little bit under quarter of its health. So in the past this is also pretty good against tech structures, so we'll see how it goes up against the OKW Schwer here.
Acknowledged.
Decent if you need like an extra bit of a push, you know, maybe a bit under a third of its health gone there, but not incredible. And then for comparison, we'll have the cluster bomb times here. And then the fragmentation bomb time here. So I guess it maybe comes in a tiny bit faster than fragmentation bombs, maybe similar timing to cluster bombs without seeing the times myself. Pathfinders, both variants. To allow Pathfinders to act as a sniper counter, the unit is receiving an accuracy bonus to all their weapons against hostile snipers. Adjustments to their sight have also been made to make weapons recruit by Pathfinders slightly less potent. So the Pathfinder weapons have an accuracy bonus against snipers, plus 20%, and the sight bonus here, so if Pathfinders recruit a team weapon, they'll only have 45 sight instead of 50, whereas the Pathfinder squad itself obtains their really good line of sight. A little bit sad about this change myself. Alright, testing out the INR Pathfinders with their new bonus accuracy up against a sniper. And I think this is kind of how you'd maybe want to use the INR Pathfinders. Generally, you don't want to be trying to fire at a sniper like absolute 35 max range. Like, you will if you have to, if you can't really like lure them any further than that, but I think ideally you want to be, you know, closer to like 25 range like this. So let's see how they go here. Coming out of camera.
Don't let any get away.
Contact! Small arms! Target destroyed! They just promoted us! About fucking time!
Decent, but you do have the opportunity to retreat there, I would say. Like Jägerlights often, you know, land a couple shots and then get the snipe off, you know, with like one burst basically. Land a couple Kar 98 shots, then the G43 comes through and kills off the sniper. Doesn't really work quite so well for Pathfinder since their critical happens at a much lower health threshold. But, you know, that did seem like reasonable overall, especially if the player's like not 100% paying attention to their sniper. You catch them off guard like this. And now we'll have a go with the regular Pathfinders from the Airborne Company Commander.
Contact! Promotion's in! That did it!
Seemed a tiny bit slower, but that might have just been RNG there. But yeah, you're going to have... This isn't quite as strong as the Jägerlights. You're going to have a chance to react. I wonder how it goes with the bar, actually. So now the Airborne Pathfinders with one bar against the sniper. That is much, much better. So yeah, if you want to use Pathfinders against a sniper like this, it kind of looks like you should use a bar. Rangers have had their stock weapons modified to be M1 Grand rifles that have improved performance over the standard Rifleman M1 Grand. While Rangers will still generally be upgraded with Thompsons or bazookas, the following change does give the squad ability to fight at long range, which few USF units can do effectively without upgrades. So yeah, the DPS here compared to the old versions, they're worse at close, like super close range, 0 to 10, but from 15 range onwards, you have a better DPS and especially from 25 range onwards, like you just way better DPS compared to the old stock weapons. So, you know, if you're maybe a little bit strapped for munitions, you can use your rangers, you know, maybe from behind cover, give them some easy vet that way instead of having to charge them into close range when they've, you know, without the weapon upgrades, they're a little bit weak. So change here to the rangers with their stock weapons. Maybe we'll see a bit more utilization of them pre-upgrade now. So here we are testing the unupgraded rangers up against some unupgraded obers close to max range. See how they fare. Oh, that's some range there.
Squad, get ready!
Oh, we'll just have to ignore that result. Still got 5 other tests. Good thing.
They got wiped out.
Alright, let's see how we go. 2 models, a little bit under half health.
Enemy infantry, take
Same
it out!
story there. Oh, the Rangers actually won over here. Not by a large margin. 3 models, slightly under half health. 2 models, slightly under half health. So yeah, it looks like the Rangers can win this one, but are unfavored. Obers look likely to win with about a little bit, you know, maybe about a quarter of their health remaining overall. So yeah, not a horrible performance there from the Rangers long range. And now the same test, but close range. Obers versus Rangers, both unupgraded.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Okay, 3 miles remaining. Obers scraped by on this one. Just winning. 3 miles remaining. 2 miles remaining. 3 miles remaining. 4 miles remaining. So yeah, looks like Rangers maybe have a slightly larger edge over Obers close range than Obers do have over them long range. So here's another pretty common scenario you find yourself up against. You know, LMG Grenadiers already a vet 2 because the Rangers come in a little bit later. See how they go long range. Okay, well there we go. Rangers winning this particular one. Very close here. 3 models here under quarter health. 1 model here almost no health. 2 models here about quarter health. 1 model here under quarter health. So yeah, looks like it's, you know, Grenadier favored but relatively close. So yeah, looks like they'll be okay, like long range. They'll be able to hold their own if you want to field them before you have munitions for an SMG. You can maybe get by with them for a while with this kind of upgrade long range. Especially you've got sandbags, you know, in the same commander with the Pershing, with the Rifleman field defenses. You've got a few sandbags lying around. So yeah, let's look at the new Garands on the Rangers. Re-echelon rifle grenades. The rifle grenade launcher is being adjusted to force user input from the player rather than being an auto-fire weapon that the opponent must constantly dodge. So the auto-fire is getting changed to a targeted ability with no munitions cost, 15-second recharge, and no longer takes a weapon slot. So I'm a little bit sad about this. You know, I kind of enjoyed the re-echelon rifle grenade launcher in its current iteration. It was a little bit buggy with some of its behaviors, which I think this change is going to help with. But yeah, a little bit sad about this change. So we're taking a look at the re-echelon rifle grenade launcher. Still costs 60 munitions to upgrade. Okay, so at the moment, once you have the upgrade, there's no indicator that you have it. Interesting, and you can still go for the sweep as it said in the notes. See how it goes here up against a Fox Grenadier lob. Okay, so it looks like you target it the point that you want to. Oh, okay, so you fire off 1 rifle grenade, then it goes on cooldown. Then you have to activate it again. What's the cooldown on that? Doesn't say. Okay, don't know. That was a bit weird with the behavior there, but it seems to be working properly now. Maybe it's because I had the it's enabled for it earlier. I don't know. Okay, it looks like you can fire like 3 really quickly, so it seems to be a little bit buggy at the moment. Is that how it's supposed to work? Not entirely sure. I mean okay.
Grenades out! Hit him with grenade! Frag out! Hit him with a grenade!
It looks like you can fire off maybe like 4 or so in pretty quick succession. Then it goes on cooldown. You can see the cooldowns like stacking up and coming off cooldown. So that's interesting. I mean, that looks pretty strong if you can fire off 4 rifle grenades in that really short timing. So I'm guessing that this is broken in some fashion. Reserve armor. This is the ability in the mechanized company. The Dozer blade is getting removed from reserve armor due to the effectiveness of the 76mm Sherman. So basically, the Dozer blade upgrade is getting removed from mechanized company. Rifle company advanced infantry gear. This is the flamethrowers for your rear echelon. The package now provides minus 10% to received accuracy, so making them more durable. So this maybe makes it a little bit less painful if you have to go for 2 rear echelon, 1 for the flamer, 1 for the sweeper. And because you don't really need rear echelon that much as US forces with the vehicle crew repairs. So yeah, flamethrower package is getting boosted here to make it a little bit more appealing. And the final thing for US forces, the rifle company White Phosphorus Barrage is getting its cost reduced from 130 to 110. Really nice change here that was badly overpriced. So overall, a lot of changes here, a lot of buffs to rifle company. The other factions will be covered in follow-up videos. So until then, a huge thank you goes out to my Patreon backers. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider coming on board.